Joining me now from Tiberias, Israel, NBC News international correspondent Raf Sanchez. Raf, this is just so horrific. I was watching your coverage this morning. Talk to me about it and about the Prime Minister's visit to the Golan Heights and just the fact that this is one thing, the Hezbollah threat, that you've been covering now since October 8th. These people have been evacuated from their homes. There's a great deal of pressure on Netanyahu to get them back in their homes, but now this looks like it's escalating beyond anything that they had imagined.
Yeah, that's right, Andrea. People across the Middle East right now are holding their breath and they're waiting to see what Israel's response to this attack looks like. And from the perspective of the Israeli government, this was unprecedented. The worst attack on its civilians since October 7th. The first time this many civilians, let alone children, have been killed in the 9.5 months that Israel and Hezbollah have been fighting across the Israel-Lebanon border. And Prime Minister Netanyahu is saying this is going to be a much larger response than anything we have seen so far. As you mentioned, the Security Cabinet met last night. They authorized Netanyahu to retaliate at a time, at a place, and in a manner of his choosing. We don't know exactly what that looks like yet, but the big question, Andrea, is will Israel strike Beirut, the capital of Lebanon? That is something that they have not done over the course of this nearly a year of war. If they do that in the coming days, it's very possible we are going to see a very large-scale Hezbollah retaliation. The United States is saying it supports Israel's right to defend itself, but it is also counseling restraint. It doesn't want to see an all-out war on the northern border. And I'll just close, Andrea, by saying that when Prime Minister Netanyahu showed up in Majd al-Shams earlier, this little village of 11,000 people, he was met by angry protesters who said that he and the Israeli government did not do enough to keep their children safe. Andrea.
And you were there at the time. And just to give people the background here, which I know you know so well, between the military's criticism of Netanyahu's the way he's conducting the war in Gaza and their criticism that you can't eliminate Hamas, which is his goal, this including from the defense minister, Gallant, when he was here in Washington, he made it very clear to us that he was anticipating that there would have to be some major action against Hezbollah if there was any provocation. So while they disagree on Gaza, Gallant, a rival of Netanyahu's, agrees with the prime minister on the threat from Hezbollah and that it needs to be dealt with.
That's right. I think there's actually a pretty broad consensus across Israeli politics about the need to, as you said, get those Israeli civilians back into their homes, even if that means taking major military action against Hezbollah. And scenes like the one in Majd al-Shams, I think, just further strengthen that feeling. I got to tell you, Andrea, Saturday night there, normal Saturday night, a little after 6 p.m., the sirens started blaring. Kids had just a couple of seconds to run to the bomb shelter, but it wasn't enough. That rocket came crashing down. 12 of them were killed. And we spoke to a young woman. Her name is Nia Ibrahim. Her cousin John was among those killed, and her younger brother is in hospital. She actually spoke to him just seconds before the rocket came down. Take a listen to what she told us.
Was gonna come to play and we will meet you at my grandma's house. I said, okay, don't be late and something. I closed the phone and boom, it's happened.
And I can't stress enough, Andrea, this is a small mountain village. It is 11,000 people. Everybody is related to everybody. To lose 12 children in a single night is just a catastrophe beyond almost an imagination. And Majd al-Shams is going to be a place in mourning for a very, very long time to come. Andrea.
No, it's just horrific. Thank you so much, Raf Sanchez.